Parliament.
This office carries with it the weight of leading one of the most strategic arms of government besides the executive and the judiciary. So, as a person, I believe that it is okay for people to exercise their right. They are welcome.
According to the SEC position, the move qualifies to be in line with the precedent that the leaders serve for 2 respective terms.
And I do hope we have worked very closely with our colleagues in the party. And I have a strong conviction that our colleagues in the NRM caucus will also endorse the decision of SEC so that we can go on the floor and conclude this matter in favor of our party.
The NRM Youth League has backed the decision of the SEC, asking other contenders to back off and support the party's position.
I want to humbly beseech the parliamentarians, please, let's further that agenda. Let's further a parliament that builds for cohesion. Let's further a parliament that builds for steady governance, a steady move into our country and where we want it.
The young people are here to request you that if the promises you made as you sought for their support, if you meant them, the time is coming to show, to prove that you care about the young people of your constituencies. And the young people are saying, please and please vote for the Right Honorable Anita Mong for the Speaker of Parliament and Thomas Tayeba to deputize her.
The status quo distances the NRM party from the Democratic Party President Norbert Mao, who had sought to be supported through a cooperation agreement to claim the speakership of the 12th Parliament. Daniel Mugoya, UBC News.
Members of Parliament on the Statutory Authority and State Enterprises Committee have pinned Bank of Uganda officials over delays in the release of funds to farmers in the agricultural credit facility. The MPs cite how delays deny beneficiaries the capital required to boost operations, which negatively affects the effectiveness of the project. The officials were responding to queries in the Auditor General's report for the financial statements of the agricultural credit facility of the financial year 2024-2025.
Government established the Agricultural Credit Facility in 2009 as an intervention measure towards the transformation of the agriculture sector to unlock challenges of access to finance by farmers. The key objective of the facility was to facilitate commercialized production through the provision of medium to long-term financing to projects engaged in various agricultural value chains. While appearing before Parliament's Statutory Authority and State Enterprises Committee, the Deputy Governor, Bank of Uganda, gave an update on the fund.
People are getting interested in the fund. The fund is performing with very, very low non-performing loans, and the Bank of Uganda is...
The scheme is a public-private partnership between government and participating financial institutions like commercial banks with a 12% interest to beneficiaries. According to the Auditor General's report, the Western, Central and Northern region have continued to dominate uptake, with the Eastern region having the least number of beneficiaries. This, however, raised concerns in the committee, with members pinning Bank of Uganda for low sensitization of the fund in the regions.
These facilities seem not to be operating, but in silos. It's not the farmers who is intended to serve. Most of them, they are not aware of what we are.
And these people who are getting this money, are those the target that the government wanted to target, or they are giving it to the well-off people?
Radio talk show is 2 million in a village, not even in town.
Access to this fund requires applications by the farmers. However, the Auditor General records a low rate of funding to the approved applications.
Why? When it comes to bigger amounts, the approvals are what? Many. To smaller amounts, the approvals are what? Few. minimum, and they are not even there.
An eligible farmer is accessible to these funds within 14 days. However, the agent noted 50% applications taking more than 6 months to process, while some took close to a year to process.
But because of the dubious process that they go through to access the facility, along the way, they are frustrated and they give up.
The Deputy Governor, Bank of Uganda, responded to the concerns.
This loan is processed through a commercial bank. Have full documentation. So the major driver of this delay is really documentation. And I would like to challenge members of parliament here. If you came to borrow this money and you have all your documentation, you will get this money in the next 48 hours. And you have the full documentation. But the problem, the Ugandans don't want to open up. We know ourselves. We don't want to open up. We want
Lydia Chomkama and Gloria Gwitabinji, Parliament.
The Permanent Secretary in the Judiciary, Pius Bigirimana, has been tasked to detail the claimants for the bail cash totaling to over 54 billion shillings. This follows the legal procedure that once a case has been disposed of, the beneficiaries should be refunded the bail cash collected. The judiciary officers had appeared before Parliamentary Committee on Public Accounts Central, which is scrutinizing the audited reports for the financial year 2024-2025. The judiciary has been put on the spot for underutilization of funds and poor budgeting, rendering loss to government warrants.
Parliament has put the transparency and integrity of the justice service delivery on spot over failure to account for 14.5 billion shillings meant for recruitment of staff. This follows the Auditor General's report, which revealed that the judiciary in financial year 2024-2025 received all warrants totaling to 442.26 billion, but accounted for 428.11 billion shillings.
The table 11 shows areas of underutilization, page 11. So can you explain page 11? Why didn't you pay money to pensioners, property management, land, and others? But most of the money is in for others. What is it that you did not pay for that led to underutilization of 14.15 billion?
The Public Accounts Committee Central, chaired by its deputy Gorith Namuga, tasked the judicial officers, led by Permanent Secretary Pius Bigirimana, to respond.
Now, to me, I find it quite difficult to say you got the money, but you have not been able to recruit yet. You must have attached a recruitment plan before that money is approved. So in the same vein, because that means that other entities who would have actually received this money, you denied them this money and yet you did not utilize it.
PS Pius Bigirimana pushed the blame to the Judicial Service Commission for failure to facilitate the recruitment process.
Please, this one, I request chairperson, we go to another topic. You just keep it for the Judicial Service Commission.
So, as the Judicial Service Commission appears, we need to take up matters of recruitment and just know we are going to take it serious because you have a budget.
The committee further demanded explanation from the judicial officers on the partially implemented activities, including procurement and installation of solar systems in various courts. About 270 billion did not meet the expectation of the planned budget.
The judiciary planned to procure and install solar systems at 9 courts at a cost of 480 million. However, only 5 solar systems were procured and installed.
The MPs did not get satisfaction on over 54 billion shillings held by the judiciary as funds collected from bail and have not been returned to the claimants.
And I can confirm that that money is there, and we are going to continue to sensitize people to get their money.
At the point of taking this person's bail money, it should be at that very point, that's when you collect his information how and where they want their money to be deposited.
The committee asked for details of the claimants of the cash bail, despite PS Bigirimana offering to publish the list on dailies.
But I have also promised to you that there is a committee I have put in place which is studying the intricacies surrounding bail, so that we can find ways and means of making it easier and quicker.
But PS, you know, some of these cases, they last for more than 10 years. I've seen a number of them. So you find, I think they cause someone, they have misplaced the original receipt. He or she cannot claim.
Under the laws of the land, cash bail should be returned to the beneficiaries upon conclusion of the case at play. The refund is processed within 30 days of application to the claimant's bank account. The law also provides an exception that if the accused absconds, the money is sacrificed.
Because we must also, as court say, if this money, we've been with this money, say, for 20 years, should you keep it for 20 years? Do we take inventory of the age of the money that you have kept, or we just keep accumulating without making an assessment?
Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gwitabinji, UBC News.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has advised Ugandans to temporarily halt travel to the Middle East following the closure of airspace in parts of the country, parts of the region. Now, according to the ministry's permanent secretary, the security situation remains tense due to the ongoing conflict between Iran and Israel, advising Ugandans in the affected countries to adhere to directions given by the responsible embassies. The officials made the remarks while appearing before Parliament's Public Accounts Committee to respond to queries raised in the Auditor General's report for the financial year ending 2025.
Explain to this committee.
During the committee sitting, members of the Public Accounts Committee expressed concern over the safety and welfare of Ugandans currently living in Iran and other affected parts of the Middle East due to the ongoing conflict.
At the moment, there are students, there are those that went to do other works. Are we in communication and are we in touch? In case things get worse, what happens to them? How do they get evacuated?
What is the status of Ugandan property outside which are under threat? And what step are you taking to ensure that our property is properly secured?
Is it now safe? Can I go for Umrah tomorrow?
Further concerns were raised regarding the absence of heads of missions in key countries such as Pakistan and Ottawa in Canada, as well as the lack of a comprehensive foreign policy for over 10 years.
Pakistan, which is one of the nuclear powers and a very big economy, we have no embassy in Pakistan.
You cannot say we've remained 3 years without a substantive head of mission in Nairobi. Tell us the impact, because in any case, do you need this foreign policy or not? Because practically, PS, how can we take 10 years?
How I've been handling it. They ask you for a foreign policy.
He gives the constitution.
What did you give them?
We have a number of instruments that we use to implement our foreign policy. Some are national, others are regional, others are international. We work with the institution of parliament, the Speaker's office specifically. We shall be in position to conclude this foreign policy.
The permanent secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Vincent Bajire, revealed that government had successfully evacuated 43 Ugandan students from Iran through Turkey and that they are currently en route back to Uganda. He, however, retaliated the ministry's advice against travel to the Middle East at this time, citing that airspace in several parts of the region remains closed.
It's not true that we have closed our evacuation in Tehran or in Iran in general. We have communicated. Of course, we have local staff at the embassy. We have advised any Ugandans that may need to be evacuated to reach out to some contacts.
Meanwhile, the committee vice chairperson Grace Namuga questioned the ministry's proposal to tax Ugandans in the diaspora, arguing that many already pay taxes in their countries of residence. The permanent secretary highlighted that several consultations are ongoing with the URA in regard to the same.
Many of them were complaining that their salaries are taxed. So you need to advise, is there a tax on whether assets, you said assets not yet clear, but come out clear on the issue of their salaries. If they are taxed, it should be known so that people know what to do.
The committee also discussed challenges related to the externalization of labor, emphasizing the need for bilateral agreements that can safeguard Ugandans working abroad. Rebecca Nantongo, Dolia Gutabinji, Parliament.
Inspectorate General of Government spot checks at Mbara, Kabale, Masaka Regional Referral Hospitals have revealed allegations of extortion by staff, non-functional critical health equipment, overcrowding and essential medicine shortages. IGG Lady Justice Aisha Naluze Batala remarked this while giving her first 100 days assessment in office.
The Office of the IGG has vowed to intensify prosecution to 70% by end of financial year 2025-2026. Spot checks by the Inspectorate General of Government in 3 regional referral hospitals of Mbara, Masaka, Kabale indicate allegations of extortions by staff. 3 so far have been arrested. The findings reveal overcrowding and inadequate essential medicines, hence complicating critical saving of lives.
During the site visit, we conducted spot checks at Kabale, Mbara and Masaka hospitals, and these inspections resulted in 3 arrests, which brought to light critical service delivery gaps, including overcrowding, non-functional health equipment, shortage of essential medicines, and allegations of extortions by the staff of the hospitals. So the IG is following up these matters with the relevant authorities to ensure that they are addressed conclusively. This should be a warning to the public officials out there that if we get you, our first action will be to ensure that you are prosecuted.
In her first 100 days in office, the IGG is appalled that corruption nature is disturbingly evolving into complex nature with a mix of syndicates and cross-border networks. The institution remains understaffed, raising concerns over efficiency and timely execution of its mandate.
Corruption is no longer predominantly petty in nature. It is increasingly becoming sophisticated and syndicated, and in certain circumstances linked to cross-border networks. So in some cases it is also normalized in some cases. So at the institutional level, we face limited staffing and gaps in the specialized skills required to handle the complex corruption cases. So inadequate funding and an aging motor vehicle fleet further constrains our ability to conduct timely investigations.
Between July 2025 to December 2025, 1,516 complaints were received. 308 corruption cases were handled, including 14 high-profile cases, and over 2.2 billion misappropriated funds were recovered.
In summary, we have IG recovery orders that are outstanding as of today to a tune of about 9.9 billion shillings, and as of now 2.4 billion shillings has been recovered. So in the last 6 months, that is between July to December 2025, the IG registered a total number of 1,516 complaints, and we commenced investigations in about 1,151 cases, which makes a total percentage of 75%.
Crispus, Arinit.
The Uganda NRM PLU Voluntary Standby Task Force has officially released the first edition of its 2026 Progress Field Report during a press conference at the Fairway Hotel and highlighted several key pressing issues in the judiciary, land administration and party cohesion that are undermining the party's reputation. Overcoming these identified challenges is deemed essential to reaching the party's support through this term and beyond.
Drawing from observations made while traversing over 140 districts alongside President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni's campaign trail, the task force highlighted critical findings intended to secure the party's dominance through 2031. The central theme of the report is the deeply troubling state of the NRM primary elections. The task force warned that internal injustices have surpassed any standard reconciliation efforts, particularly in Arua and Namutumba.
We have a report of about 180 pages here, and in it we have 10 burning issues which trouble our people at the grassroots, which were not mentioned at the rallies, or some were mentioned but have mentioned.
To restore credibility, the report recommends a rigorous performance audit of the NRM Electoral Commission and suggests conducting by-elections in contested areas rather than relying on party tribunals, noting that fewer than 10% of petitioners are satisfied with tribunal rulings.
People of Uganda, the NRM supporters, don't get much from the tribunals which are set to resolve NRM primary issues. Instead, they chose or they suggest for rerunnings of by-elections in NRM primaries.
Regarding the parish development model, the report described it as a potentially transformative program, but identified a hidden gap in its implementation. Consequently, the task force has recommended that no further capital be injected into the PDM fund until this underlying issue is effectively addressed, asserting that even £1 billion investment per parish would yield minimal impact otherwise. The report also addresses systemic failures in the judiciary, noting that the Ugandan court system is crippled by backlogs and corruption, with only 88 high court judges for 45 million people.
We realize that a single high court judge in Uganda has got over 1,000 files. Okay? And we realized that when we sat down to do some calculations, that if each single file is allocated 10 to 15 days of working to finish it, a single judge in Uganda, a single high court judge, will need 27 years to complete the backlog that is already filed in courts.
This judicial strain is also linked to land disputes, where the task force argued that the underlying cause of the land grabbing lies more within the failing judicial system than with mafia groups.
We have noted a very big gap in tackling issues. Sometimes the issues that are concerning the grassroots people, it's not addressed. They don't have any forum. Some people are not in the structure, some people are not in the party. But these are the people who easily open to us.
Further findings highlighted internal party infighting in regions like Busoga, Teso and Buganda, which the task force claims creates entry points for the opposition. Additionally, the report noted that 70% of religious followers feel their grassroots leaders, such as imams and village preachers, are excluded from government programs. The task force intends to hand over the report to President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the CDF Muhoozi Kainerugaba, and the Speaker of Parliament Aneta Among, in a bid to devise appropriate measures of addressing the gaps within the existing party structures.
UBC News Tonight takes a very short break, but return with more stories after these messages.
So, Muchara.
Yes, Daddy.
You know the children are going back to school and things are a bit tight. For now, why don't you take half of the fees to junior school, and for the school van contribution, we shall pay later.
Daddy, why don't we pay using MTN Momo, where we stand a chance of winning school fees for a whole year and more? By the way, you can also apply for a school fees loan, and also participating schools can win a school van.
That's right! Win school fees for a whole year and more. Get more goodies and a school van for participating schools. You can also apply for a school fees loan. Simply dial *165*80# or use the Momo app.
It's back, bigger, and with more business opportunities. It's the Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo, Poate 2026, Uganda's flagship tourism event. Poate 2026 will take place from the 21st to the 23rd of May 2026 at the Speak Resort Convention Center, Munyonyo, under the theme Wanderlust. It's your time to thrive. Yes, it's your time to tap into Uganda's renewed optimism and tourism growth. Tourism stakeholders, travel trade partners, and tourism enthusiasts will be part of the Poate 2026. Come and network with like-minded people and unlock new business opportunities. To participate, register at www.poate.co.ug. Poate 2026 is brought to you by Uganda Tourism Board and partners.
Welcome back from that break, and in more stories this evening, leaders of the National Unity Platform, NUP, convened a leadership meeting at the party headquarters in Makerere Kavule, NUP headquarters, to discuss the party's next course of action. The meeting brought together senior party officials and leaders from the Kampala sub-region. Key discussions focused on the upcoming LC1 elections, with leaders urging members and Ugandans to actively participate, emphasizing that local councils form the foundation of leadership and governance. And the meeting also addressed the issue of political prisoners and the party's recent visit to Buganda Deputy President Muhammad Muwanga Chivumbi.
Among the attendees were the Leader of Opposition in Parliament, Joel Senyonyi, NUP Secretary General David Louis Luongoya, and the party's Deputy President for Eastern Uganda, John Baptist Nambeshe, among other leaders. During the meeting, Luongoya stressed the importance of DR forms and called on the Electoral Commission of Uganda to provide them to political parties and upload them online for transparency.
Up to now, the Electoral Commission has not uploaded those DR forms. And I can say that up to now, over a month later, those DR forms have not been uploaded.
He, together with Machindia West MP-elect Honorable Zara Luyika, urged supporters to participate in the forthcoming LC1 elections.
Our people begin organizing our election management committee. The chairperson of EMC is around. Please stand up for recognition. And members of the election management committee.
We are here and we pray for our president, Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, wherever he is, to be safe and guided by the will of God. Yes, they have talked about the LC1, LC2 Women Council elections that are upcoming. I urge all my honorable colleagues, those who went through, our flag bearers, those who were reached, to come in unison, and we see that we have a better future for this country. The structures start now. We start from the grassroots. When we talk of grassroots elections, this is what we mean.
Senyonyi called on security agencies to leave the home of NUP President Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, urging that their presence was unjustified, and warned that the party could take the Directorate of Public Prosecutions to court over alleged violation of High Court orders.
The military and police are still heavily deployed outside his home, inside his compound as well. That continues to happen today. The state has yet to tell us what they are doing there. We want to know. We are going to sue the DPP in contempt because since last year up to now, these cases have not been transferred to civilian courts. In addition to that, we are going to do what we call judicial review to try to compare the DPP.
Nambeshe thanked Ugandans for their continued support and delivered a message from Kyagulanyi assuring members that he is safe and remains committed to the struggle.
For the good life that he has kept our president, away though he is safe and sound. I will commence with greetings from him. I am delivering greetings from the president. He has encouraged us to remain firm, steadfast, and always available for the struggle.
The meeting ended with leaders calling for unity within the party and mobilization ahead of the local council elections. Cayenne Faith and Jamil Sekaja.
The Deputy Speaker of Parliament has diffused the political tensions in Mubende district, which had stalled even after the general elections. Tensions and violence were the order of the day in Kasambia County as supporters of both MP-elect David Kabanda and rival Henry Muhumuza were at loggerheads. Following a petition to President Yoweri Museveni, the Deputy Speaker chaired a meeting involving the two camps, and the issues were neutralized. The two camps agreed to set aside disputes to ensure steady progress and the proper implementation of government programs to benefit all the people of Mubende district. The resident district commissioner of Mubende, Fred Nayebare Chamuzikita, revealed that the fatal tensions had stalled service delivery and appreciated the Deputy Speaker and President Museveni's interventions to cool the mess. The Mubende district area leaders also attended the reconciliation meeting.
I received a call from His Excellency the President, who asked me to call the groups from Mubende, especially Kasambia constituency, and talk to them because he had received petitions regarding what happened during the campaign in the constituency. So it has taken around 3 days. I started on this on Sunday, working on preliminaries. Yesterday I was able to meet the groups differently. In the morning, I first met Honorable Kabanda and the district leaders, and then in the afternoon, I met Muhumuza and his team, and then today we decided to have a joint meeting. Now, one would ask why here, why not in Kasambia or on the ground? We have finished the elections. So we don't want to cause more excitement in the village. And that's what we agreed both as leaders. And said, let us get critical leaders so that we don't go to hold the rallies, the constituents, and resurrect issues which had been resolved. I'm happy to note that the two brothers we have extensively, and we have been very open to each other. I'm happy to note that indeed we have come to a meeting point, a meeting of minds on putting Kasambia and Mubende first.
So for us as leaders, we are somehow facing a challenge in service delivery, especially in these wealth creation programs. So now we are going to work with ease. We thank you so much. I want to take this opportunity to thank the two big people, Honorable Kabanda especially. When we started, we thought they would not come to this meeting. But finally, after talking to them amicably, they came.
Members of the Patriotic League of Uganda, PLU, are up in arms against some of their leaders, accusing them of ineffective leadership and self-serving interests. The disgruntled members are calling for accountability and an end to internal power struggles, citing grievances from the recent presidential campaign.
Commanders.
Members of the Patriotic League of Uganda, PLU, have expressed deep disappointment and frustration with their leadership, citing self-serving interests. Speaking at their Naguru, Kampala headquarters, disgruntled members accused individuals of failing to address their party's needs.
People are touched, people are grounded. Please, I kindly beg that let's be considered as one, because we are all PLU.
His Excellency agenda kunda abasajja banteka mu komera nga president agenda kunda abakulu bano mu office bali banconsidence nga bajja Luweero ku lwange abasajja ne bazibikira.
Ayongera okukola oba kuyimusa mmwe mbasaba projects zaffe wakiri muziteekemu akasente muzituukeko mulabe kye tukola.
They claim some leaders involved in vetting individuals seeking the president's support, and some party members who didn't get favorable treatment have faced repercussions. The members are now calling on PLU chairperson Nwagira Toyota to intervene and address their grievances, and asking him to advance the party's interest.
Kati saawa zino babuuza kiki ekiddako n'ekirala abaana bali eyo baakubwa tulina emisango naye mukama wange sirina ani anyamba.
Kibwe tuwagira NRM bwe tumala kufuna gavumenti tugenda kugabana tutya bana bameka bemugenda kuweereza obwa minister. How many people to point of the minister?
The drama in NRM, they managed to beat me down. But I did not come back because the people in Tororo County North are the one who told me to come. It was not.
After listening to members' grievances, Chairperson Toyota Nwagira promised to address these issues, citing that some complaints stem from the recently concluded presidential campaign, where some members felt sidelined and unsupported.
Business yaffe mobilization. Tulina bye tukola, but mobilization yetuleeta wano. Politics zetuleeta wano okubeera wamu. Si business yo gy'okola wabula politics zetuleese wano okubeera wamu wano. So nzikiriza mu kukozesa amaanyi. Tugende tukozesa amaanyi, tulabe nga PLU tugizimbira ddala ebeere ya amaanyi. Mbadde mbasaba tukomye omuze ogw'okwatakinga each other, ogw'okulwana entalo, kubanga entalo zituzanye emabega. Mbasaba entalo okwatakinga sec members oba ffeffe bennyini zikome. Nze saagala nnyo ekigambo ky'okubanga abantu beevuma. Nze gwolaba wano sisobola kudeployinga omuntu nti genda vume gundi. I cannot. Nze kintu kino nkizimbidde emyaka 5 sisobola ate kuba nti nkimenyawo. Nze byentaddemu mbimanyi. Kati omuntu okuvaayo wano n'agamba mbu ayabuuza vice chairman accountability ya 1.5 billion. Ezo nazo mpisa mbi. Ombuuza accountability ya 1.5 billion. PLU y'okutuuka wano ezimbidde ku sentemeka. Ezo mpisa mbi bannange. Nobuuza national vice chairman mbutuwe accountability ya 1.5 billion.
Chairman Toyota further said the party's growth is at stake and internal conflicts will only weaken it, emphasizing it's time to put differences aside and work together towards a common goal.
Kubanga PLU eno nze byenjizimbiddemu bingi byentaddemu. So tosobola kubeera onombuuza mbu accountability mbu simanyi bamuwadde ne ku mikuto kati mbiraba bitambula. But ebyo mbignoring. Nze Toyota gwe muli naye wano mission yange si sente. Mission yange ya kuzimba gwanga, kuzimba PLU ebeere n'amaanyi.
Robert Katamba and Ken Tanaba reporting for ABC News in Kampala.
In 2024, Uganda recorded 37,000 new HIV infections and 20,000 AIDS-related deaths, a situation that calls for collective efforts if the country is to achieve its target of ending AIDS by 2030.
Infecting somebody, infecting another person. So there's no way you can say men cannot be infected, only women can be infected. So from the simple fact that people can infect one another, there's no logic in saying that only women should test. It should be everybody. It's just logical.
Together, we can end AIDS in Uganda. Every second counts. Let's act now. This message is brought to you by Uganda AIDS Commission, Office of the President.
So, Muchala.
Yes, Daddy.
You know the children are going back to school and things are a bit tight. For now, why don't you take half of the fees to junior school, and for the school van contribution, we shall pay later.
Daddy, why don't we pay using MTN Momo, where we stand a chance of winning school fees for a whole year and more? By the way, you can also apply for a school fees loan, and also participating schools can win a school van.
That's right! Win school fees for a whole year and more. Get Momo goodies and a school van for participating schools. You can also apply for a school fees loan. Simply dial *165*80# or use the Momo app.
Welcome back from that break, and more stories this evening. Uganda is increasingly catching the eye of filmmakers as a group of Ugandan directors from the diaspora scout locations for an upcoming project. Our reporter has more on how the country is positioning itself as a film hub.
A team of Ugandan filmmakers from the diaspora is currently in the country scouting for locations for upcoming film projects, aiming to position Uganda as a premier filming destination.
Well, I would like to encourage filmmakers in the diaspora, and not only Ugandans in diaspora, but filmmakers all over the world, to come and utilize this potential location that offers a lot, you know. So you're in the diaspora, you're a filmmaker, you're itching to make a film, great story, looking for the best location, you have to come to Uganda.
During their visit, they have toured multiple locations including Busowoko Falls and have reviewed equipment and logistics options, highlighting how prepared Uganda's film ecosystem has now become.
I've had a wonderful time here at the falls, and I would encourage each and everyone to visit these falls. Basically, I came across these falls when I was scouting locations for a feature film that we're going to shoot in Uganda.
According to the team, one of Uganda's biggest advantages for film production is its cinematic versatility.
I would encourage everyone in the diaspora to come and look at our locations here in Uganda. We have wonderful locations. We have nature, we have urban locations, we have even what you call like dystopic locations. If you come to Jinja, Jinja is beautiful.
This makes Uganda multifaceted, enabling a film crew to capture several countries in one journey, moving from the lush green to arid semi-desert plains.
Not every country in the world can have this in its natural state. So we've been interacting with our diaspora who are in the movie industry. Some of them have been working with Disney World. Some of them are in Hollywood, and we are trying to see how do we promote a destination as one of those prime destinations for movie shootings. So today we bring to you some of our key people.
The filmmakers say Uganda's long daylight, stable weather and growing pool of trained local crews now make serious productions possible without heavily relying on foreign resources. Alongside Miriam Otengo from the Uganda High Commission UK, and with the backing of the High Commissioner Nemisha Madivani, They also met Uganda State Minister for Tourism, Martin Mugara Bahinduka. The team highlighted issues such as high permit costs, lack of a rebate policy, and uncertain clearance procedures which have hindered film production.
You spend 175 to the Media Council. You write a letter to the Media Council and pay the 175 in the bank. You present the pay slip, and then the Media Council writes a letter to immigration that introduces you and or asks them to give you the special pass. That whole process takes 2 weeks. In Kenya, a film permit costs $100 per crew member. In Rwanda, it costs the same. In both these countries, it takes less than 5 days to get it, once you have all the paperwork. So all this, the worst bit about it is the special pass requires someone to get a letter of good conduct from their country of origin. Meaning you have to get FBI if you're American and the equivalent in all your countries.
Minister Bahinduka pledged to address challenges facing the film industry, citing its potential to create jobs and stimulate economic growth.
We're just giving you examples of how much money was spent on the Queen of Katwe, the $7 million, but because of the challenges, if it weren't for the challenges, probably would have had around $30 million spent within Uganda. So we understand, and as a sector, we know the importance of film to us. We know what it means shooting a movie in destination Uganda or in one of our protected areas, because it gives us a lot of visibility within the country, but also brings money into the country with that triple effect of so many people reaping out of these movies. First of all, they are usually long-time stays. It's not short-time. People come here for months to scout, months to shoot. So it's a lot of money within the economy for a long period of time. So it's important that we're having this engagement, and we'll commit to make sure that we work together to resolve these few bottlenecks.
Despite these hurdles, the filmmakers are confident Uganda is no longer just a backdrop, but rather becoming a viable production base for local and international films. Over the years, Uganda has either featured characters or scenes fully or partly in films like Black Panther, Queen of Katwe, and The Last King of Scotland.
The Uganda People's Defence Forces Directorate of Women Affairs, headed by Brigadier General Charity Bainababo, together with the Office of the Chief of Defence Forces, has conducted a medical camp in Keke Kamocha in Kampala aimed at improving access to health services for vulnerable communities. The initiative is part of activities organized to commemorate the International Women's Day, celebrated annually on March 8th.
Kamocha, a densely populated suburb of Kampala, is home to many low and middle income residents whose earning often cannot sustain their daily needs. Residents say this has greatly affected their quality of life, especially when it comes to accessing healthy services. Anamalia Nansamba, a resident of Kikeke in Kamocha, says the cost of medical treatment sometimes forces residents to avoid visiting healthy facilities. She adds that the high-populated area also struggles with poor sanitation, which affects public health, yet there is limited healthy facilities accessible to the community.
For example, when you go there to Chifumbira down there, people are so many expected a lot of diseases there. Some are not working. That makes them fail to go to hospitals.
But elsewhere we live, you go there, they first work on those ones who have money.
The situation has prompted the Directorate of Women's Affairs in the Uganda People's Defence Forces, led by Brigadier General Charity Bainababo, together with the Office of the Chief of Defence Forces, to conduct a free medical camp in Kekeke, Kamocha, at KCCA Primary School. This move is organized in commemoration of the Women's Day celebrations due 3rd March. Brigadier General Charity Bainababo says the initiative is aimed at supporting communities that struggle to access medical care.
Thank you. Greetings from the Chief of Defence Forces, General Mozi Kainerugaba. He's the one who's supporting us in all this of UPDF. We give back to the people. So we have chosen to come to Kamocha today to treat our people, give them free medical care, interact with them, and do counseling. This we are doing in the spirit of UPDF.
The camp offered services including cancer screening, childhood HIV testing, treatment for common illnesses, and health education.
We are going to look at all gynecological conditions, illnesses, offer screening and management.
Thank His Excellency the President of Uganda and General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, who managed to initiate the program of the ghetto structures, which helped the youth to make sure that they cannot fear to come on a health camp, which organized by UPDF.
Irene Faith Nantongo, UBC News.
Uganda is preparing to join the rest of the world in commemorating International Women's Day with renewed focus on women's leadership, economic empowerment, and gender equality. To strengthen media engagement ahead of the celebrations, UN Women, in collaboration with the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, hosted a media breakfast meeting in Kampala to brief journalists on planned activities and national priorities for 2026.
Journalists gathered at the UN Women Uganda office in Naguru, where officials highlighted the important role the media plays in shaping public dialogue and promoting gender-responsive reporting. Pauline, the UN Women country representative in Uganda, emphasized the need for journalists to amplify the voices and achievements of women and girls across the country.
You have the power to turn a statistic like 56% of women experience violence into a story that compels a nation to act. You can transform a complex economic report into a narrative about a resilient woman entrepreneur who just need access to capital and thrive.
Women also develops catalytic programs that can be scaled up almost in any context. And we have what we call flagship programs as well. And those, we partner with different institutions to implement these programs, and they are scaled up.
Organizers also shared details about the Ring the Bell for Gender Equality initiative, organized in partnership with the Uganda Securities Exchange, aimed at promoting women's leadership and economic empowerment.
Signatories and stock exchanges each year, they symbolically ring the bell to raise awareness about the reps and about inclusive and gender responsive workplace practices.
Our core role, especially in operations, that includes finance, human resource procurement, administration, among many others, to ensure that we deliver for the women and girls, but most importantly, support the government of Uganda in delivering their 4th National Development Plan.
Angela Nakafero, Commissioner for Gender and Women Affairs at the Ministry, called on the media to support awareness and coverage of gender equality issues.
Climate action is very, very important for us. And it's because of this that we are going to unveil the Uganda Gender and Equity Strategy on climate action. Join us as we unveil this important strategy, and we call upon you to join hands in terms of its implementation.
The engagement also provided updates on ongoing programs advancing women's empowerment in Uganda.
And that wraps it up here on UBC News Tonight. I'm Lauryn Masika Kazimoto, together with my colleague Mohammed Mugalu on sign language interpretation. Good evening.
Uganda Funeral Services Limited